Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our panel discussion on AI in crypto data management and analysis. And as the crypto industry continues to grow and evolve, the volume and the complexity of data generated also increase. So, leveraging the AI for data management and analysis present a very massive opportunity for enhancing the efficiency and gaining insights and staying competitive in this fast-paced market. So, to set this stage, let's consider some data. And according to a report by PwC, AI is expected to contribute up to $16 trillion to the global economy by 2030. So today we're joined here by a panel of experts who are at the forefront of this integration between AI and crypto data management. So today here we have first Nick, who is the CEO and a co-founder of Assister. He's a visionary in AI applications within the crypto sector. Hi, Nick. How are you?
Hey, doing well. Thanks for inviting me. Great to hear. Great to join this conversation. Hope it would be exciting and interesting. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're looking forward to hearing everything you have to say about today's topic. Our next speaker is Roman. Roman, he's a chief of strategy officer at Ask Sensei. He's an expert in leveraging AI for strategic decision making in crypto. Hi there, Roman. How are you?
Hello, good to be here with you guys.
Awesome, Roman. Tell us a little bit more about what you do in a crypto space.
Sure. So I've been in crypto space since 2013. I have a VC, invest in Web3 companies, do advisory to various Web3 companies. My VC is called Charged Ventures. I'm also a co-founder of a project called Sensei. And Sensei, we do human AI replicas, so we can create your replica, and then your audience or other people can have a video call with your replica. So we basically capture knowledge, expertise, experience, all the data, and then we save it in a secure, persistent manner. And your replica basically have everything that all the knowledge about you, so it can interact with other people in the same way that you would interact. And that is viable for various personal applications as well as business applications. Like one of the business verticals that we're focusing on right now is creating replicas of organizational company employees, and then the clones of the employees can do useful stuff. So they can do work 24/7 without their kind of the employees themselves taking part. Integration with various emails, messengers, CRMs, company processes is one of the verticals. Apart from the rest, there are the others, for example, creating replicas of domain experts, social media influencers, KOLs, so they can monetize their audience. Their audience can interact with replicas 24/7. So that's something that we're focusing on right now. And we're in the business of data, so we're fundamentally managing human data for AI applications and training models potentially.
Thank you so much, Roman. It's amazing to hear that you are doing these important things. Thank you for joining us today in the space. Next, we have Shiva. He's a business director at Public AI, a leader in implementing AI solutions for public and private sector clients. Hi there. How are you?
Hello, hello. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me a part of this panel. Um, my name is Shiva. As you mentioned, I head the business development part at Public AI. Within business development, I also take care a little bit about cap intros and basically stuff on the VC end. In a nutshell, I would just want to sum Public AI as a one-stop shop where what we're trying to solve for is untapping the liquidity around the world by helping anyone and everyone come in and train LLMs, uh, and help fine tune data, which is raw data, and then fine tune it in order to make it useful, which towards the end of the day we can process and make benefits out of it and make some kind of incentives out of it, and then give it back to the people who are contributing. So essentially creating an ecosystem which is a win-win for everyone, making sure that everyone gets rewarded in this process, because as we all know, in today's date everyone's data is being mined, and that's without consent sometimes. And the worst part is that people are not able to monetize such things. So that's where we come into the place where we're giving the opportunity to everyone through Web3 and AI, and sort of be on the crossroads of both the technologies, and making sure that how is it that we can come in and reward everyone who wants to contribute in fine tuning the LLMs. So in a nutshell, that is exactly what we do, and that's what I take care of at here at Public AI. Yeah, would love to deep down further as the questions go on and through the conversation. Again, super excited to be on this call. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Shiva. Nick, we can see your hand up. Please let us know.
Yeah, I found that I forgot to introduce totally what we're building at Sister. So just a couple of words. So we're building a network of community-owned small language models. So the core difference is that first, we're relying on small language models instead of large language models, because my experience in AI space shows that large language models, they basically average some kind of entity trained on average information from internet, and they are missing accuracy, and they are not as precise for business specific or domain specific tasks. So that's what we're addressing with small language models. And second part, we also incentivize users to create a data set for the small language models by providing token rewards, by introducing our own data provenance protocol. We just raised 2 days ago 1.7 million our pre-seed round. Right now, we today introduce big onboarding call for Web3 protocols. Our goal is to onboard up to 100 protocols in next 2 months. The core use case, the way we started, is developer onboarding and support. We're providing copilots that can help build applications, even if you don't have technical expertise, technical depth, and knowledge about smart contracts, technical development, and so on. So our copilots train on each protocol's data, and they can help and assist you on that. That's pretty it.
Awesome, amazing. Thank you so much, Nick, for adding on to your intro. We also have here another Nicholas with us today. He's a founder of Scion Dev. Nicholas, I can't really see you within the space. Let me know if you're hiding somewhere. Maybe if you could send us a reaction and we could see it, maybe we'll catch you up. All right, let's give Nicholas a couple of minutes to rejoin us, and hopefully he'll be able to enter this space. All right, guys, I think that we should start the questions without waiting any longer. I'll just give a couple of ground rules before we start. I will address the questions to each one of you, and hopefully you can answer it, and hopefully the rest of the speakers are happy to follow up, agree, disagree, have a discussion, have a conversation. Please raise your hand. We really want to hear all the opinions, even if the question hasn't been addressed towards you. Let's make it a lively discussion. I'm sure everyone wants to hear different points. All right, we'll start. We'll start with Nick. Nick, can you start off by explaining how AI applications are currently being utilized for data management and analysis within the crypto industry?
Yeah, I would say that it's like AI. It's not something new that appears this year or last year. It's like exists already many years. In classical fintech and classical even crypto, we can actually start saying that there is a classical crypto since 2020. But in 2017 and later, all the trading activity on a hedge fund sides, on market making sides, they actually happened by by using and utilizing different algorithms, trading algorithms, and so on. So AI is already there. The question is that the new way of AI, generative AI power, or generative power AI applications, it's something totally new, and that's why we see this AI agent concepts that appears last year or last half year actively on the market, where people, teams, communities, they're trying to build half automated or fully automated entities like some code programs or some dApps that can act and behave on behalf of user in some specific range of flexibility, like that you can set up what you are okay with, what you're not okay with, when you are ready, and like what you are ready to delegate to the CI agent, what you are not. And I think that this direction is very promising because it's actually can automate a lot of our work on a consumer side, not only for business, because with the business, they have enough budgets actually to hire a team to set up everything and to use and utilize this application. For personal usage and for average retail investor who like investing in crypto or exploring the market or doing research, that's kind of applications that can save a lot of personal time. So let's say we start a year ago with personal analysis that helps to analyze the market and based on your portfolio. So it's cutting off all the unnecessary information that's like just noise, pushing you to have FAT or to have FOMO. And based on this information, we had this like AI analysis that was analyzing the market, offering you some ideas what you can do with your portfolio, or suggesting you not to do anything because the situation and condition on the market are really bad. So I think that's the core direction where a lot of application happening right now. Of course, there is like data layers or data consumer application which extract data. There is a lot of applications that trying to buy not application but like protocols and teams who are trying to buy not use GPU CPU storage. And it's also very interesting because AI cannot happen if you don't have enough GPU CPU power. And the last one, which we excited the most right now about, it's code assistant. Why? Because the most value right now accumulated on layer 1 protocols, and with introducing and democratizing access to building application for many people, we can actually finally achieve the state of the market where there would be a lot of consumer-facing applications, because the cost of creation of one application would be very low if you are relying on AI assistant or AI copilots instead of like building 3, 4, 5 people team and building application from scratch. So it's like super wide range of possible implementation of AI. The question is, like where your interest is, like what you try to build, what you try to achieve.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nick. That's a very extensive answer. I don't think anyone could disagree with you on this one. I suggest we just move on to the next speaker and try to develop our topic further. Nicholas, I could see that you've successfully rejoined. Hi, Nicholas. How are you? Tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you do.
Hi guys, how's it going? I'm really nice. It's nice to be here. Thanks for having me. I was some connection problems because I have in the middle of the mountains in Italy now. So yeah, I think we are connected now. Yeah, I'm Nick. I'm working several years. I was working in the crypto space and in the financial industry. I have 2 research companies in Zug, in Crypto Valley. We are focused on basically in the connection between the traditional finance and the fintech space and the crypto space. So yeah, we are absolutely connected with this topic. For us, it's really necessary talk about AI in this moment, because obviously, as I was thinking before about the first interaction, how this can be great for the industry in terms of connection, the data analysis and in our, for example, or research, or we're working absolutely with the market making new mechanisms connected with the liquidity in the crypto space and the real world asset. We are working with several funds connected with the mechanisms, obviously, to automate. So I have several years working in the not only in the AI connected with the financial, but only working in the research between the connection between the real data information like oracles, working with teams like Chainlink and other research teams. We have a commitment to develop different situations, and then obviously we can't stop to talk about all the basically the interaction connected with the games and the play to earn situation. I think it's a lot. There is a lot of points to touch. Obviously, the first one is the financial because it's the big impact in this industry. But yeah, in these 10, 12 years working in this research, the data analysis and high frequency data analysis for the algo trading system too, I can show to you these topics can be really relevant in this area. So yeah, thanks again to having me, and absolutely happy to be here.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. Since you already have the microphone, maybe we could ask you to expand on the next question. So, what do you think are the primary challenges that crypto companies face when they're integrating AI into their data analysis processes? And how do you think they could be overcome? How do you think the market is dealing with it?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm out of the car. I mean, there is a lot of challenges. I think the first one is the complexity in the structure of the data. We are analyzing several terabytes a second to build the new generation of the algo trading system, and I can tell you this is a huge potential in terms of processing data. It's really important to talk about GPU. I was I pay attention before in the comments with the guy before because I am agree with him. Today the GPU will be the next frontier in processing. We are working with, for example, CUDA using Python to improve the the calculation of the response, the answer in these terms of calculation in the processor. We are working directly with GPU to analyze a big amount of data, and then I can show you can be one of the big issue to solve is the structure of the data, okay, the complexity, because we obviously we have every day more data to analyze, but every day we have more complexity. In the same way, there is a lot of points to solve in terms of I mean, if we can talk about long term, we can talk about singularity and all the quantum processor. We are making some tests with the quantum processor. Obviously, there is a lot of things to do because we are still to work a lot in the connection between a normal processor and the quantum. This is the big issue: the communication between the structure normal processor boundary and the connection between this kind of processor at other level. But we can tell about these complexities. For example, tomorrow I can show you the complexity of the data, and then obviously the know-how of the people, because you can have a team of developers, and it's easy to find I don't know, a Python developer, but it's not easy to understand the technology, how this technology is evolving in every area, and I think this can be the one of the big issues, and I think it's one of the point of value of this conversation, the education.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nicholas. These are some very, very good points that you've mentioned also on the macro level. Um, I think we're going to move into Roman now, and we're going to ask Roman about some specific uh, challenge that a lot of companies are thinking about right now and planning out on how they're going to figure it out in the future. Roman, let us talk to you about the regulatory considerations that are impacting or will impact the adoption of AI-driven data management solution in the crypto industry. What are those? What's the landscape looking like right now?
Can you give me 1 minute? I will go next. Maybe you can ask somebody else, and I will take this question in like a couple of minutes.
Yeah, for sure. Any takers on the regulatory consideration? I know that's a tough question. I know nobody wants to talk about it, but it seems
No,
like a
I'll talk about it.
necessity.
Just a couple of minutes.
Oh yeah, of course. Cool. Um, we'll just give some space to Roman. Shiva.
Yeah, I'm happy to chime in there.
Of course, please go ahead first, and then Roman will pick it up.
Absolutely. Uh, I mean, so as Nicholas mentioned, those were some really interesting points, and I completely agree on the lines that how GPU is going to be the of imperative importance in the industry of where AI is heading. I think I would rather put that under the bucket of scalability. And I think a couple of good important points mentioned there in terms of just how in order to scale a specific system or a framework, it's completely backed by the GPU system and the computational power that we have right now. And all of these are not just limited to the AI industry, it's also just how we have been seeing since COVID happened, the shortage in the semiconductors and the microprocessors industry, which is in fact had a significant impact on the world's economic growth in many, many ways. Uh, be it even crypto mining or Bitcoin mining for that matter, there was been a shortage of GPUs all along. And now we finally come to the point where all of this computing power has to be channelized towards the leading cutting edge technology, which is AI, what we're talking about today. Although I would like to say that scalability is one challenge, but apart from that, I would also bucket a couple of different things where we see challenges or like the speed bumps may arise. As you just mentioned about the regulatory compliance, I would definitely have Roman speak more on it. But there's one more important factor where we specifically at Public AI look at very carefully, which is bias and fairness in terms of whatever data which is being churned out through all of these validators that we have on our platform. Towards the end, the data is only going to make sense if it's legitimate, if it's non-biased, and if it's true to its actual form. And what I mean by that is that most AI models they can introduce or perpetuate bias, which can lead to discriminatory outcomes. And how we tackle it within public AI is through we just use diverse and we use representative data sets for training our AI models. And also, as I mentioned, we have thousands and thousands of validators who are coming in and validating these large chunks of data, fine tuning it, and making sure that they can be used as processed data. But apart from that, you have to make sure that there are regular tests and audit systems being run on your on your AI frameworks, and also employ fairness enhancing techniques. So basically, making sure you're incentivizing the validators to make sure that the data is fair and is non-biased. So I think that comes from the crux of exactly what blockchain as a technology is all about, but making sure that how we leverage that ethos and make sure that it becomes a segue for what AI has to become as an industry, that is of significant importance to us. So that's exactly where we see ourselves. And there's a couple of measures that we take on our end to make sure that how we tackle bias and fairness. Apart from that, obviously, there are different issues such as scalability and integration with existing systems, security and privacy. But I think all in all, these are all like snowballed problems which would obviously arise whenever there is a cornerstone in a new technological breakthrough. So we're just trying to solve for that one step at a time. And yeah, the idea is to make sure that everything comes and paves in a smoother way, so that towards the end, the regulatory and the compliance aspect of it is all sorted down, and we have even more advantages through these different channels that arise in the later future.
Thank you so much, Shiva. These are some great insights. Roman, what about you?
Can you repeat the question briefly, please? Is it AI regulation for data regulations or general AI regulations? What was the topic?
Yes, we're talking about the regulatory considerations that are impacting the adoption of AI-driven data management solutions within the crypto industry.
Regulations for AI-driven data management solutions. I guess, like, generally, in terms of regulatory standpoint for data, it's jurisdiction specific. So for EU, there are certain regulations that came into power relatively recently. In general, in EU, there is what's the names? Data privacy regulations, which imply like multiple things: how you capture personal data, how you store it. There should be consent, and there should be an easy way to withdraw that personal data, some security mechanisms. So there is like a list of processes and recommendations that you want to apply within your organization, and the data management processes that would go in line with, let's say, European regulations. And there are like certain regulations for particular jurisdictions like that. So I think, yeah, Europe was a bit trickier. So we were also thinking in terms of like the jurisdiction for incorporation, because of the European data regulation. It's a bit more kind of, you need to take into account more things. But I think from what are you saying, it's like regarding to data AI for the data management. I guess you mean like blockchain data is publicly available there. I don't see any problems with that. In general, in terms of AI regulatory standpoint, personal data, same regulation mechanisms as for any other personal data for particular jurisdictions, copyrights, anything else. So it's very similar. It's just like if you have rights to use somebody else's data, and then how is it being regulated? So it's not even related to AI. It's just general regulatory environment. And then general AI regulations. I don't think that regulating AI would give any long-term benefits in general. So it's like you can regulate AI in one place, but this is like other places might not regulate it. So from algorithmic standpoint, it doesn't make difference. It doesn't make sense to regulate AI algorithms unless it's like regulated on a mathematical level. So you basically regulate certain areas of mathematics, or like make them secrets, like like a Cold War era, which would make sense. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. And then in terms of the data, so the human-generated data is used for LLMs trainings right now. So we're in an era of LLMs, meaning the data is being used for LLMs is human-generated. All the data that is being used for training LLMs is basically human-generated data. All the data on the internet is generated by humans. Like part of it is generated by machines, but fundamentally it's all supervised, guided by humans. So and then until we reach next generation of models, which would be based on deriving their reasoning from fundamental principles of reality, we are still relying on human-generated data. And human-generated data, there's still no comprehensive regulatory frameworks for that, but soon we will see that like a lot of data might be copyrighted. You cannot use a lot of data for training your LLMs. Currently, LLMs are hitting the limit of the available data to be available for training. So companies like OpenAI and others are using synthetic data to train LLMs instead of human-generated data. So what make difference, or what has value in AI in general, is hardware and data. Algorithms, they won't make a lot of difference very soon. So algorithms are not the competitive, it's not competitive edge. So data would matter. And then how you capture, if you have access to data, if you're able to acquire a lot of data. For example, something that we do in Sensei, we acquire a lot of human generated data, because let's say take the fact that all the data, majority of the data that we see on internet or books, or all the data that's generated by human civilization to this point is generated by vocal minority, and then it's only 5% of the population. So, and then non-vocal majority, they don't necessarily have inferior expertise or knowledge. It's just that they're non-vocal. It's just how humankind, or social, or the informational interaction work. So in Sensei, we're trying to capture that 95% of information that is basically being lost with every generation, and use it for doing useful stuff, but also it can be used to train machines as and not at least until we reach next generations of models which won't be based on natural language. So I think data is crucial. Human generated data is crucial, and then obviously regulatory frameworks for that. I guess simple things for related to other areas like copyrights, data ownership, ability to sell your data. That's something that will be established, that is being established, it will be established very soon.
Thank you so much, Roman. Thanks a lot. Shiva, we'll move on to you next. I want to hear your opinion on the future trajectory of AI. We briefly touched upon this, but what do you think are the trends or the technologies? Where do you think we go with this?
Absolutely. Would love to add my 2 cents in that. Firstly, I mean, I agree with a lot of what Roman said, and essentially training large LLMs rely on humans and human data today. That is something that we are also dealing with, and although with time things are going to change, but the fundamentals of how the next 2 3 years in the AI space are going to look like is just by how large chunks of data are being crunched and fine tuned uh, by different players such as ourselves in the game, and making sure that the kind of data that is output out of a system is is validated, is completely non-biased, and a lot of other things are the same. So, completely agree with a lot of points made earlier. Um, to your question, which sort of revolves around where would I see AI in the future, or where do I think that the trajectory is going? So I've had an experience in the trading field, specifically dealing with a lot of institutional clients and a lot of trading firms and prop shops. So I think one of the important segments in the industry has been trading in general. I think finance is one sector which has hugely been benefited out of AI. One of the main factors that I see is, and someone spoke about this in this conversation itself, is algo trading, and how a lot of trading firms in today's time are using AI algo analysis to make sure how they can interpret historical data and sort of understand market trends, and then accordingly make their trading positions. So machine learning models can actually help predict a lot of these movements, and also at times help them execute these trades. So this is something that we've done in the past, but how rapidly the technology is evolving unlocks a whole new potential of how these different trading firms can just use AI for their own advantage. So I think one important sector which is really going to benefit, or at least will see the first layer of change, or will leverage this technology the most, would be at least finance. And when I say finance, I would specifically point towards the crypto native trading firms specifically, because they are already exposed to AI in different formats. And yeah, that is one important field that we see significant progress in. The other important factor within this ecosystem is the sentiment analysis. So people have been using tools to analyze social media news and other online platforms, just different tabloids across, to just gauge market sentiment. And if you look at it, that's such an interesting way of how market research and analysis is being done right now. It's essentially a big chunk of data being run through an AI, which squeezes out a bullish or a bearish kind of a sentiment and gives you a high level perspective of what is it that the market is kind of being perceived as, which again helps a trader or someone in the position to make certain calls with them. So these are some of the advancements that I have personally seen very, very closely alongside a few projects who are working on the same. So I truly believe that the next couple of major industry, which is going to be shook by the power of AI, is definitely going to be finance and trading.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Shiva. This is really good. Thank you so much, guys. Do you have any other points of views that maybe are correlating or not correlating as much as Shiva's opinion? All right, no takers. Then I guess we're moving on to the next questions. Nick, let's talk about the ethical considerations. Everyone seems to be very concerned with ethical considerations when we talk about AI. When we talk about companies dealing with AI, what do you think they should keep in mind?
I would say that it's quite complicated topic about ethical part, because if we're talking about ethical moments in AI, we all the time means that someone need to define these rules, what is ethical, what is not ethical. And like things that could be ethical, let's say in European culture, it's not 400% the same things that gonna be somewhere in Middle East, in Africa, in Latin America, in US, and so on. So based on this, we moving in this direction when regulators going to be putting some frames and limitation for the models based on the specific region and like parts of the world, parts of the like countries where they're going to be operating, which is like quite tricky because initial goodwill to make something for good can end up with censorship when like this is okay, is that not okay, and like where is the line, who is defining this line, can we trust to this entity who is saying that like this is true and that not true. So we had the situation with the war in Ukraine and Russia. Like I'm originally from Ukraine, where it's like totally a case when like some entity is limiting Google search or some entity is limiting other things. So I think it's like from regulation perspective, it's pretty tricky. But what could be done on a protocol side, and I think that's the right way to do and go. I like how Twitter starts this like user algorithms where user can highlight some fake information, provide a feedback, and based on this information, other people understand that this piece of information or output is not relevant and it's not trustworthy. So I think that should be designed on a protocol level. We have this in our side, so we like the data provenance protocols that we rely on is about how to ensure that people, community can contribute data, train the model, improve the accuracy, but not change or shift its quality in the ways that someone wants to manipulate. I mean, like biasness and all of this. And if we, like any member of the community will find that the model is biased or the model is incorrect, he can do alert. And if this alert, this ticket or alarm would be accepted by a group of people, there would be consensus about this. People who feed this data and people who validate the quality of this data, they should be penalized. And like economically, it's pretty clear. So it's like penalizing people for doing bad work or doing something that is harmful for community. It's a way like economically to punish or like to prevent some AI ecosystems from this. But then we have still this layer of political and like societal things where only economic punishment is not enough, because like someone can have like $1 million and he can just just feed so much fake data or some propaganda or some other things that would be harmful and would be destroying the value of this model. And it's not only about economical power. So I think it's complicated things that requires more research, more time to think about, to work, to develop different solutions. But it should be mix of some technology till some moment, till some range of complexity of the question of biasness. And then, of course, there should be high-level ethical regulation, but in the way that it not prevent the development of technology. It's not censoring the technology. It's not censoring communities who wants to express themselves in specific way.
Thank you so much, Nick. Guys, we're moving towards the last question of our panel, and the last question is going to be an open one. So if you have an opinion to share, please go ahead. Do you guys really think that AI-driven data analysis can help crypto companies stay competitive? And if everyone is using them, how could they be more competitive than someone else? If you guys have an answer, please raise your hand. I'll pass on a mic to you. Let me know if there are any takers.
Hey, I'm here. Can you hear me again?
Yes, we can hear you, Nicholas.
Okay. Yeah. I think we have a lot of connection between the question and the topics, but I think obviously this can be an improvement not only for the crypto companies but all the companies in the world. But I think in the end we are always talking about the management and the possibility to analyze a big quantity of data. And then the question, the answer is simple. I mean, is how this quantity of data can improve my development or business development inside my company. And it's easy to answer. I mean, you can connect, for example, a lot of information from the market. No? I can take several data about the competitors. I can improve all the interaction between the competitors and the products, and can define a better how and in which timing, okay, can go to the market with different products or services. I think this is a lot of I mean, it's unlimited solutions connected with the analysis of this data to obviously to take from my company, fundamental analysis connected with other companies and all the stuff. I mean, it's not only about the trading stuff, but connected with the internal processes of the analysis for my company and different areas of my company. We are used to that. We are working with different areas of this data. We are using this data. We are mining farms of these data to improve the production of the company. And just to add of this comment, I can talk about the regulation. We was talking about before the regulation. I mean, it's obviously the regulation is a crucial point, and this depends on the jurisdiction. Every jurisdiction has rules. These rules have to be respected, obviously, because we see now the situation about, for example, we were talking the last call about the real asset world tokenized. I have one of the companies in El Salvador. We are using the new digital, the new rules in El Salvador connected with the digital asset issuance, and basically you can see in this place how the jurisdiction and the regulation impact basically on the entire ecosystem, because I can use the rules from one place like El Salvador to build a new stock market, and this is really huge in terms of finance. If we move to the crypto regulation in terms of data and AI, obviously Elon Musk was talking 2 or 3 weeks ago about the regulation in the best practice to develop the education into the algo. But here we had to make a step. I mean, to see forward and to see the future and long-term future and say, but we are going now in this moment, and we are going now with the AI, because obviously it's not only the impact into the regulation about the crypto space, it's in the entire life. I mean, we are thinking about a new, we are building a new human working and walking with us, and obviously this can be a philosophical conversation, another call, but obviously this can be a huge problem for humanity, or maybe not, or maybe this can be possible. This can open a new frontiers, like for example the colonization of new uh, planets. But again, the regulation in terms of capitalism and economy is always a problem, and we know that it's a limitation. But in terms of research into the AI, we have to, I think we have to make a big question in terms of philosophical perspective. Um, Again, I think the regulation now is always connected with the privacy and the data privacy, because we are mining data of other people, and this can be the first issue I see tomorrow. But in long term, I think all the stuff I am talking to you now, and we have to consider it, because really we can, the impacts can be huge. I mean, if we can in the future, just to end, connect the AI with the, for example, we can play thinking about the connection between the quantum computing and the AI. We're basically creating a new human, and we have to think, we want to do that. I mean, this can be the big question. This is for me an important point to analyze.
Thank you so much, Nicholas. These are brilliant, brilliant points. Guys, thank you so much for sharing your insights today. We hope that this discussion has provided our listeners with a deeper understanding of how AI is revolutionizing the data management and analysis within the crypto industry. Thank you so much, guys, for your time and your voices. And thank you, everyone who came and listened to us today. Stay tuned for more discussion. And thank you all for joining us. See you next week.